Okay, okay, I'll start recording now, but okay. Okay, now this is another chart. Okay, so quite a nice chart. Okay, so now this is a book of numbers. So start, remember Sinai here, they are there. Then Kadesh Barnea, they sent in wilderness. They are there to send for tests, and then because of it they came back a negative report, so they end up in the wilderness of 40 years, and then at the end of the 40 years they are at plains of Moab getting ready lah. Okay, so there's a preparation here, organizing, consecration and instruction in Mount Sinai, and here is a test in Kadesh Barnea. The spy went out there to test, and they came back with a negative report, and so the judgment was there. The judgment was that the whole generation will die lah. Okay, and then here reorganization there at the plains of Moab. They are getting ready to go to into the promised land now. Okay, and then getting ready for the next book, which is Moses discourse. Okay, you can see down Mount Sinai, and then all the way down to the wilderness. Okay? So the whole generation, this whole generation died. Okay, after you will see one census here and then another census at Moab. Okay, next point. Everyone following us? Okay, I think, and I sent out this chart also, so you will have so don't copy any notes. Okay, just look through the chart. Okay, now this explain, it will become clearer. Author again, Moses. When was he written? After at Mount Sinai so the year is about his lifetime about 1500 1450 or whatever. Okay, it's probably written in Moab okay, plains of Moab. There's a keynote is Kadesh Barnea there, and there's a 40 years of wilderness is recorded, and they are now at the plains of Moab. So this is the series that I've shared with you, and it's probably written along the way. So when Moses is along the way in the wilderness, they got a lot of testing and so on, and also he probably recorded. And then when he's in Moab, before he dies, he just edit his book. So that's why we got the book of Numbers. So Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Number, Deuteronomy, the first 5 books of the Bible, the Pentateuch, all written by Moses. And because it's written by him, we can date the book around there, or around maybe 1400 to 1445. That's about his the time that it is written. Okay, highlight key word and verses. Okay, so the key word is wandering. Okay, wandering, right? Of course, 30 years of wandering in the wilderness now. So wandering aimlessly, and the old generation is dying now. Okay, and these are the key verses. Let's read the 2 key verses. Verse 22. Here it says, because all these men have seen my glory and the signs which I did in Egypt and in the wilderness, and have put me to the test. Now these 10 times, and have not heeded my voice, they certainly shall not see the land which I swore to their fathers, nor shall any of those who rejected me see it. Okay, so that is the judgment now, because they sent the spies, they came back with a negative report, and so because they want, so this is the judgment. So they will be wandering. So you can see this one, they will not see it, so they will be wondering why we will not see, because they rejected me. Okay, there's the second key verse. Then the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, because you did not believe me to hallow me in the eyes of the children of Israel, therefore you shall not bring this assembly into the land which I have given them. Okay, so that's the second key verse. Okay, now this chart in the Bible 365, every book there is that chart, a chart of all the books. Okay, you can see here, firstly, first segment, old generation, tragic transition, and then the new generation. Okay, so the old generation, you can see just on the chart there, the preparation, okay, 1 to up to chapter 9 there. So chapter 10 onwards, okay, the postponement, okay, so they, instead of here the preparation in Mount Sinai, postponement, end up 38 years in the wilderness. So that's what happened, the postponement. And then, so the order, disorder, and then go to reorder. So here the preparation at the plains of Moab for about 5 months. So total approximately 40 years now. So this is how the book is set up. Okay, here in Sinai there, you can see here in Mount Sinai there. And then here you can see Kadesh Barnea, Kadesh. And then after Kadesh, wilderness for nearly 40 years. And then here, the journey to Moab. And then finally here, they are at Moab already. Okay, so this is how they are lah. Okay. Okay, so survey of numbers. Okay, so basically, first one, chapter 1 to chapter 9, we are talking about the whole generation. The mix of those that will die lah. Okay, so the generation that came out from Egypt, went there, supposed to go in the promised land, but they rebelled. So this old generation talk about them spying, and then they return. Then of course the second chapter 10 to chapter 20 for the tragic transition. So during this generation, this 15 chapters are everybody dies. That whole generation, they all die. So the tragic, that's why it's a tragic transition. And then the final part, 26 to 36, the next 10 chapters, the new generation. This is a generation that will go into the promised land. Okay, so you can see in this chart, old generation there, old generation, tragic transition, and the new generation. Okay, yeah. Okay, this is just now. This one is from the open Bible. This is from the open Bible, Open Bible. This chart, okay, from the open Bible. Now this one is presented by another author, the Jensen Survey of the Old Testament. You can see there, Jensen Survey of the Old Testament. Okay, and okay, you can see that about the nearly the same lah. Okay, basically you can see there, first 9 chapters they are in Mount Sinai there. Then the next chapter 10 to chapter 21, they are in the wilderness. And then at the last part there, they are now at the plains of Moab, getting ready to go in lah. Okay, so the preparation for the journey, and then the actual journey, they are desert wanderings. Here you can see desert wanderings, Sinai to Kadesh, Kadesh to Moab. Okay, so here 39 years. Here just a few weeks, Mount Sinai a few weeks, and then in the last preparation there, a few months. Okay, now this chart I give you a few more mountains here. Here you have 3 mountains: Mount Sinai here, Mount Hor, and then Mount Nebo. Okay, just a little bit more info, but basically it's the same. So I think this all the Bible scholars are very good in preparing all this chart for us. Okay, so I think we are just basically Bible students. We are studying from people who have done studies a bit earlier lah. And so I think when we read the study, we can learn very much faster. Can you imagine reading the Bible word for word, and then without any of these charts, sometimes we are lost in the forest and we don't even know where we are. But if you got a chart like that, when you are at chapter 10, or you say, oh, chapter 10, oh, yeah, chapter 10, okay, you can say, oh, yeah, they are now, in trying to spy out the land. So you know, they say chapter 22, oh, yeah, now chapter 22, old generation all died already. Now they are at plains of Moab. The first generation died. The tragic transition is over. Now they are already in the plains of Moab, waiting to go into the promised land. Okay, so the chart really helps us to understand this. Why charts are quite a helpful thing for us to learn. Okay. Okay, now the book very interesting. Is a tale of twos. You can summarize it in a tale of twos. Okay, firstly there are 2 generations, old and the new. Okay, then there are two numberings. Very interesting. They got 2 census. Okay, first census chapter 1, and then the second census chapter 26. 2 two journeys. Okay, one journey, failure. They're all in the wilderness. Second journey, they're going into the plains of Moab, getting in journey into the promised land. Two journeys. And then we got two sets of instructions. Okay, first instruction 5 to 9, go and spy the land and set the failure. Then the second set of instructions, chapter 28 to chapter 36. Okay, a tale of twos. Okay, if you want to summarize it, okay, a tale of twos. Okay, okay, so that is quite a quick survey I've done. I think just like I said, takes me about half an hour. So I've given you a very good overview of the, not say very good, but a decent overview with the charts around Open Bible. And so now you know the things here. So now we will go into the 5 discussion questions. So but before we do that, is there any question anyone has, or anyone want to share anything you have learned from the book of Numbers? Anyone? Any question?
Just a quick question.
Mm.
What is the meaning of the numbering? There are two numberings.
Census, I think.
Census.
Yeah, I know census. What's the meaning? What is the meaning of census? Why should there be a census being carried out?
Oh, okay. There is a question in the in my question afterwards. So you're giving the answer.
Okay.
The group that do the question can come up with the answer. There are two census. Very interesting. It's a very good question. Actually, there's one census in the beginning, one census in the end. Why did God ask them to do a census? Okay, so that's one of the question. So I won't give answer now. Okay, the group will give the answer. Any other question on the survey, or anything you want to share from the survey? Okay, by the way, just to turn our SCD survey means basically we are not really studying the book. We're trying to get a overview of the book. That means get an overview, because we are reading, we have all read the book already. So basically an overview, get a feel of it. So now, if I ask you Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, we already got a feel of the book. We already know now the historical, what all those books are saying. You can give the historical, geographical, and everything. Okay, okay. No question now. Okay, so now, okay, I will share the question now. Okay, and then maybe you can write down the question now, because okay, I'm going to break out into breakout rooms and so that each group okay, if you're a group 1, you answer question 1, group 2 answer question 2 and then group 3 answer question 3, group 4, and then group 5 answer question 5. Okay, where is so these are the questions. Sorry, here. Okay, these are the questions that so got 5 questions here so I will break it into 5 group, 5 times 4, or each group will have 4 person. So take about 15 minutes, discuss the question, then you can Google also if you want then end of the 15 minutes we will end the breakout room. Then you come, the group leader, every group appoint one leader, and then give the answer to your question so these are the five questions. Can you quickly take a photo of this screen and take a photo of this screen and then answer the question? Then come back in 15 minutes time now. So I'm going to go into a breakout room now already, okay? So for example, the census one we discussed, okay, why did God restrict the age of a priest could serve? That means the priest got the age they have to serve from 25 to 50, got retirement age, okay? Then there's the age of military also. So what lessons can you learn? Then why did Moses send out 12 spies to the promised land? Did God approve the sending out of the spies? Okay, so talk about the spies. Then talk about Moses' wife. We want to answer who was Moses' wife? Did he have more than one wife? Okay, number 5. why was Israel cursed for 40 years of wandering in the wilderness? Okay, these are the texts. Okay, 5 questions are. Okay, you have got, so I will break you into 5 groups. So each group answer 1 question, and in 10-15 minutes time, we will come back into our groups. Okay, every group make sure got 1 leader. Anyone got any question? Okay, if not, I will go for break. Any question? Okay, go into your breakout rooms. 5 breakout room. Okay. Okay, each and then answer your question and then come back. Present your answer in 10 minutes time now. Okay. Dia you join now dia. George there. Oh, Veronica there. You go there. Okay, can set lan. Shake Lily there. Okay. Okay, now. Minky here. Okay lah. Join them. You there, you also no join. Okay, the rest okay.
My room cannot the internet. Twice it's knocked out. Get out.
Join this group.
Yeah, that's what I'm told. But I honestly haven't really followed what's happening with the all this border opening and all. It's just I've got enough issues. Just dealing. Yeah, because Victoria just finished her.
Your mom is not feeling too good.
Oh, not just that. My mom. Hey, hi.
Hello.
Bessie.
Wow, like old days. I'm
My
office.
goodness. Oh yeah, you look so comfortable.
Okay lah. Hey, how your mom needing what lah? Help.
My mom really bad. He's just telling Minky, it's like he was asking me about the travel and all that, but my mind can't even focus and all that. It's just too much happening. Just my own family things. Yeah. So mom is not good, really bad. And just got a message. I nearly wanted to leave the Bible study because just got a message from Richard saying that I think he's not in a good place. He want to move away from KL to somewhere else to get some peace. And if that happens, means mom is totally, I don't know what's going to happen to her. So I think something is happening in his life too, which is not great.
Wow, tough yeah, seasons
Yeah. He's been having issues, so family and work, and so I don't know. It's just so much going on in my family.
Okay, your mom? Not okay,
My mom, no, she's in a lot of pain. She's in a lot of pain. The whole body is in pain. I think the nerves has got issues. Like even touching her skin is painful. Her legs are all swollen. She can't sleep every night because of the pain. So yeah, like the other night I called her and she was crying. To hear my mom crying is pretty serious. She was not just crying, she was sobbing, uncontrolled sobbing, and then she had to put down the phone because she just couldn't talk.
So bad. Wow.
It's really bad. And I've been telling her to put her nursing home, but she doesn't want to go nursing home because she's been once a bad experience, and she feels that all nursing home is going to be bad. I mean, the one that I found again through some people, Jasper Lodge and the Mansion, which I thought are good ones. It's $6,000 for a 1-bedroom.
Wow.
And there's
wow.
24 hours nurses, a doctor visit, but still, you know, she feels that why should I go? You know, these people there are dying. So you're putting me to where people are dying. So I don't know. Anyway, let's not talk about her. We are question 1 and you can fail me straight away.
Census how? Okay. So the census question 1.
List all the men 20 years older.
So who will present the answer?
Yo, Minky.
Michelle, you present lah. Okay lah.
No.
So this one patient just now asked a question lah. Who? Who were numbered? Okay, why they got us a census? Who were numbered? This is only for the first census, not the second one.
20 years older and above.
20 years old and above, male.
Yeah.
Why only male? Why is it not important the female?
How the female?
So it's just
for war.
Why not nowadays is gender
answer
diversity?
Why?
It's preparation to register for war, to register as troops.
Correct.
Look after the house.
The first census is supposed to go for war. So the war is only for the men to go lah, not the women lah. Lucky the women don't need to fight. Men,
So this is to get ready for war with who? The Assyrian and the Babylonian, is that?
Yeah,
Or
correct.
the
So I think,
Moabites or whatever.
yeah, to fight. This one go to Canaan and drive out all the enemies. Okay. Numbers 1 verse 3. From 20 years old above, all who are able to go to war, you and Aaron shall number them by their armies. Correct? So why they got orders? So I think to go for war lah. Who were numbered? Okay, then we read verse 45. Verse 45 to verse 46.
45 to 46.
Who number children Israel?
Children, their father's house, 20-year-old above, all who were able to go to war.
600,000.
Wow, okay. So there's the people they numbered. All and then after that got 600,000 lah. Wow. That means they got 600,000 fighting men lah. They had these numbers lah. Okay.
603, 550
Yeah.
males.
49 to 50.
Okay, then the last 2 verses only the tribe of Levite you shall not number, nor take a census of them among the children. So they are not supposed to number the Levites, you know.
Who were missing?
Number.
Levites are missing lah.
Okay, females are also missing, isn't it?
Correct. So
and
they
kids
didn't number
and people under 20.
Yeah, correct. So they didn't number. So they number 600, all fighting men lah.
Yeah.
At least this is the first census okay. We don't want to talk about second census it's a different one You're not in the question
So what are the
but
lessons?
your question is why they got order a census. So you can actually pick
you want to
one
order
of them.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
From the verses I gave is only on the first census only. The second census is in number 26.
Oh. So we are not answering number 26, right?
No, we are not
because
answering
you actually given your answer on using those verses.
I didn't give any answer. I give you the verses only.
Yeah, but the verses is actually will give you the answer.
Yes, correct. After you explain, Michelle, because you explain to the rest of the group lah.
Okay.
The answers are in the verses. I give you the verses with the answers
So what are the lessons you have learned? It's a privilege to be a woman at this time.
So Michelle answer.
Excuse me, privileged be a woman, but that is after 2,000 years plus, you know. I don't think those days female is privileged at all. They have to cook and clean and everything else.
If you look at on the positive side lah.
Verse 50 you're
and
not
have to work
supposed
now.
The Levites not supposed to go to war because why? They were supposed to look after the tabernacle So actually God got a plan for them, you know. The Levites the women also not supposed to go to war. All these were for fighting men.
So if someone comes to the tabernacle and try to attack the tabernacle, not that maybe it's not in the Bible anyway. So the Levites are supposed to just stand there and don't fight, is it?
No lah. If they come to fight, you have to fight lah. If you're coming
Okay.
to the tabernacle, I do not
But they're
think
not
as a-
trained to fight. I find it's quite sad. You actually want to train the Levites to fight too, although
No,
they
no,
don't
you're
need
not
to go
supposed to
to
see.
war.
Okay,
Huh?
if they are supposed to do the worship, they're not supposed to fight, man. They're supposed to go to war, ma. You know.
No, but here,
know.
Michelle is asking, let's say people attack them in the tabernacle, do they fight back or not?
Oh, they do. You know, remember now, although Eliezer, they got spear. When the people sin, the guy take the spear and kill people also.
Oh,
They will
yeah,
do,
yeah,
they
yeah.
do. But they just don't go to the enemy place to fight it. They
Okay.
are all skilled one, you know.
Okay, so
Yes.
they are trained up that they are skilled to fight,
They
but just
still
that
they
they
can
don't need
handle
to
the
go out.
spears
Okay.
and everything, yeah.
Mm.
So actually
Okay.
our answer quite straightforward lah, huh?
Straightforward lah.
This first census want
So
to
okay,
try.
so
What is the
what are
what
lessons
do you
can
think
we
the
learn
second
that-
census is for? Then
Second census.
second census, because after the first generation has died, right? That was
yeah. The chapter 26
So
the
they
first
want to know what's
generation
left.
all die already. So chapter 26 then is a second census, you know. Yeah, 26 verse 2. Take a census of all the congregation of the children of Israel from 20 years above by their father's house, all were able to go to war. So second census is also for war one. No, maybe you can mention, Michelle.
Okay.
Chapter 26 verse 2. The second census is also for them to go to war. 26 verse 2.
Okay, it's also for war,
Yeah.
but war against who now? Still Canaan.
Hey, go into the promised land lah.
Yeah. So the first census is also for war to go in the promised land. Then the second
Yeah,
one
but then
also
they
is for.
but the first
They
census
sin,
all
ma.
die already, ma. All die already. By the end of the 40 years, they all die.
Is it?
Of
20
course,
years
ma.
old and above. After
Yeah.
40 years, they're only 60 years old. Oh no,
Hey,
sorry. Some
40
might be
years,
older. Yeah.
but
Yeah,
they kena the curse, ma. So all the first
Yeah.
census, all these
So-
people number all die.
Yeah.
So chapter
Yeah.
26 verse 2, the second census are all alive, and the second census is the one they will go into the promised land. Okay lah, you mentioned lah, huh?
Okay, wait. Well, I think, how do we know all died or we think majority died?
Hey, no.
Because you
Then
mentioned-
curse, ma. Where can anybody
Yeah.
survive?
Only
Can
Caleb
anybody,
and Joshua.
nobody survive. Anybody above 20 all die.
Okay, so only Caleb,
Only
And,
Joshua Caleb
um,
survive lah.
Joshua.
Yeah.
Joshua. Yeah,
Yeah.
Joshua.
Only Caleb. and
Joshua's
Joshua.
original name wasn't Joshua, wasn't it?
Joshua.
His
Joshua
original
son of
name was
Nun,
Joshua.
Joshua son of Nun.
His name wasn't changed.
No.
Sorry, that's Judah. That's Judah. Oh my goodness.
Joshua.
Okay. So
Okay
everyone
lah.
died except Caleb and Joshua. Okay.
So by the time chapter 26, Numbers 26 verse 2, so it's a whole new generation. Just now I showed you also as a whole new generation. And this generation will go into the war, so they get number again. How many are them? They number?
601,730, verse 51.
Oh, okay.
Verse
Number 26 verse 51 okay. Verse
Oh, it's
51.
about the same then.
Yeah.
It's about 600,000 too.
Yeah.
Oh, 600 exactly the same. 600 and
A bit
1,000.
lesser.
Oh, 600
One.
and
A bit lesser.
1,370.
Less.
A bit lesser.
Okay. Also
Yeah, about
600,000
2,000 lesser.
Men only, fighting men. Within the age of what? Above 20 lah, same lah.
Same.
And then Levites are excluded as well.
Same.
Is it
Yes.
mentioned?
Yeah, same lah.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
So same rule applies.
same
Yeah.
lah. Okay.
But who take the census? Moses. It was still Moses that did it.
Moses still alive lah. See who God asked them. Yeah, Moses still alive.
So Moses and
Aaron,
priesthood.
Eliezer, Moses, Eliezer.
Right. Sure.
So, but God spoke to both Eliezer and Moses, whereas the first census, God spoke to just Moses.
Yes.
Yeah, the
Correct.
first one was just to Moses.
Yes.
Yeah lah. Maybe
No help
Eliezer grown up already lah now.
Maybe Moses bit deaf.
Moses old man. Actually, Moses going to die already.
Yep.
Moses going
Just
to die.
in
Old
case
man already
Moses
lah.
died halfway. The census.
No, not yet die. He's going to die and he's not yet die yet.
Okay.
Right, sure.
How the Eliezer came into... But Eliezer is a Levite, right?
He is lah. No,
Eliezer, yeah, he's from the priest line, he's a Levite, yeah.
So
Eliezer.
why did God need to speak to both of them? In the second census?
like you say, Moses old already, ma. Maybe he's
A bit
eyesight not
deaf.
so good. A bit deaf.
No, because I think Eliezer probably take over from Aaron lah. Aaron gone lah. So God spoke to Moses.
Oh yeah, Aaron died.
Aaron gone already, yeah.
Yeah, but
Aaron
the
gone,
first time when
Miriam
God-
gone lah. So left Moses and then Moses old man, so Eliezer lah.
That's what we think. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Okay, our answer very clear. We got the answer already.
Okay, what lessons do we learn? What are the
Okay.
lessons you
See,
can
for me
learn?
lah, I think even though God give us the things in life, I think a lot of things we have to work for it one lah, I think, isn't it? God like want them to conquer the land, but God never gave them miracle all the way one, no. Still got to go through the works lah, numbering lah, get prepare your army lah, get training lah, everything. So I think it's like that lah. That's the lesson I learned lah.
That's the lesson you learn.
What lesson you learn?
So Minky, what lesson?
11 days journey we don't want, but you want to choose a 40 days wilderness one.
Yeah
It's
lah.
supposed to take only 11 days to get to Kanish Bania, right? At the
Yeah.
11 days journey turned into almost 40 years wandering. Yeah.
And then not 40 year wandering, end up dying lah. Oh, then,
Dying.
yeah. Wasted, right? The first census wasted lah.
So it's
So when you say first generation died, means the wives and the wives has to die too, or it's just the male?
I
Like,
think
who
all lah, the
dies?
whole generation all died
that
lah.
generation, right?
Whole generation, but their kids don't die. Not necessarily the kids has to die, right? When you say the first generation, just their kids won't die. Their kids could have fallen under the second census.
Yeah, that's right. Correct. Not the whole family lah.
Yeah, okay. So probably it's the parents. Chances is that, or it's just this curse is on the male only.
I would think it's a generation, men and women
Okay.
and two.
We have men and women.
Yeah.
Okay. So your learning is what, Minky? You like 11 days into 40 years.
I would prefer 11 days journey lah. I mean obedience.
So your takeaway is obedience.
Yeah, because they disobey ma, they rebel ma. Obedience and rebellion ma, these are the lessons. Chinese say yin ge moi se ai sik ngang ge, they want take the harsh one.
Building perseverance.
Yeah, perseverance. Yeah.
My learning is like, I don't know. I think if you don't mess with God.
Don't mess with God.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's hard, we being human is naturally sinful, right?
Yeah.
Although how much God has done for us, how much He's provided and come true for us so many times, and yet when you've got issues, you tend to doubt Him.
Yep. This is lifelong. Lifelong.
Yeah, this is lifelong. You doubt Him, and then you realize, oh no, Lord, I shouldn't have doubted You, and then you come back to the path. So it keeps happening. So if I can't see how we have changed actually from Old Testament to now. I think we are similar in terms of behavior.
The old man, we always have to fight with the old man.
Huh? What does it mean?
It means the old nature is still there, and God takes a long time to fit it into the mold. We have to really learn, just like sandpaper, we always get rubbed all the time. Then after a while, we come back. Then when things are getting better, we tend to, get a bit yaya again. This is a lifelong lesson of learning how to really obey God. There are only two things in life. If you trust and obey, it's so simple. But at the end of the day, only two things, trust and obey God. But you always fail God in many ways.
So how does with Jesus? So how is that with Jesus' death then? makes a difference compared to Old Testament? Does it make a difference? God is more patient with us, that we can make more mistake before he actually let us get into more
No,
trouble?
I think if you look at it, some people take a longer time to learn his lesson. Some people really take a shorter time also. So I think in life, it all depends on you whether you want to allow God to really surrender. I think a lot of us are not 100% surrendered to God at this point of time. Not many of us 100%. No, some may be only 90%. Some even less than that. But this is a hard time in life that pushes to God to me always the hard time, obstacle time, then we are reminded. In good times, tendency is we tend to forget. This is the learning curve Now you learn how to praise God during good times as well
So we
Really?
okay.
But
Never
don't
mind. Let's
worry,
start
our group
Okay.
is the brave one.
Okay.
Okay,
Different
I'll
ones.
start.
The different ones. Okay. Let's say Michelle start with the first question. The census one. Okay. The one that patient asked. Okay. So very easy to answer. Okay. So Michelle start.
Okay, Pei Chen, listen to the answer.
Okay.
Go. All right, so the census is taken, we are talking about the first census. It's taken because it's preparing the people for war, and only males are being counted, 20 years old and above. I'm told females were expected to stay home, that's why they were not counted for the census. And the total number of males that were counted was about 600,000, which is quite similar to what's the outcome of the second census as well. It's about 600,000 males. The question also asked about who were numbered. So I think all the tribes were numbered except for the Levites, because they had to look after the tabernacle. So they are not counted towards the men to go to war. And then who were missing, I think that's what I've really answered, that the Levites are missing, as well as the females and males that are under 20 years old. And what are the lessons that we have learned? So because there was 3 of us, so each one of us sort of gave our view. And for Warlock, the lesson that he's learned is that when God gives you a promise, you still have to actually work for it. It's not like you don't need to prepare for this group of Israelites. It's not like they could just cross over the promised land without fighting for it. So although God said he'll give you a promised land, you still have to fight for it. So Warlock's interpretation for that is, we have to work for God's promises. It's not going to just drop on your lap. And Minky's feedback is his learning is obedience. It's important to obey. Otherwise, an 11-day journey turns into a 40 years sort of wandering, and then ended up dying as well. So obedience is very important. And for me, my learning is, I think, it's not easy. I just feel that human nature is, no matter how much God has done for us, and we've witnessed miracles and promises coming through, and sometimes we still doubt God, that he might not come true for us. And then we keep going through the cycle of we doubt God, and then we realize that we shouldn't doubt God, then we come back to God. And then when things are going well and something happens again, then we doubt God again. So I think my lesson is just continuously reminding myself that, in our lives, there's always ups and downs. And it's just remembering that we need to keep coming back to God and not rely on our own strength to push through. So I don't know, Minky and Warlock and Bessie can add on to answer the question one.
Oh, okay. We also touched a little bit on question on the second census in Numbers chapter 26. There was a second census, and also the second census was also for war. Basically, they were numbered, also the male, and basically the second census was this particular group is the younger generation, because 40 years later they were numbered, and they are the ones that will go into the promised land to fight and to drive out the Canaanites. Okay, so to answer Pei Chen question, basically the census is to get the number and of fighting men above 25 to 50, and so that they can go into the promised land and fight. Unfortunately, all the people in the Numbers chapter 1, every one of them died. Not one survived.
But wasn't the
But
census
two actually survived.
Okay, Joshua and
Yeah,
Caleb
Caleb
survived.
and Joshua.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, two,
For a
two,
very,
two.
very detailed
Yeah,
person.
the lessons of
Okay.
the lessons
She's
of
an
two.
engineer, okay?
Oh yeah.
The lessons of two survivor.
Oh yeah. Two survivors. Okay, correct. Joshua, Caleb. Even Moses, Aaron also didn't survive. Or mati. Okay. So I think quite well answered. First question. Okay, so we go to the
excuse me.
yeah. Anyone want to ask anything?
Yeah, wasn't the census also a census of those eligible for being priests among the Levites between 35 and 50 years? The
But that one you
was
got to
taken.
listen to me.
Oh
Okay?
no, that one question 2.
Yeah.
Oh, question 2.
Question 2 there you can
Sorry.
see. So we get the second person to answer question 2. Okay.
Okay.
Who's group? Who's group answering question 2?
Me.
Okay, Pei Chen, you answer now.
Okay, wait. Before I go into the second question, I have one more question for the first question. So can I summarize that the census is being taken for war? Is it correct?
Yeah, correct.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Mainly for
So-
war, yeah.
so-
That's why
so-
they never number the children, they never number the women, never number the Levites. Levi not supposed to fight, supposed to look after tabernacle.
So in peacetime, they will not take a census. Is that correct?
Actually, Israel, they are not supposed to take census on, One time David took census and then cannot
yes,
judgment, remember?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. They are not
Because
supposed
I'm
to.
trying to also, I'm also trying to answer, why is David not supposed to take census? Is it because during the time that he take, I understand that, so that you don't count on, how much you amasses, the army, how big they are and all this. Definitely, I understand this point. But the next point is probably, is it correct that David's time is a peace time, so he's not supposed to take census?
No, you see, David's time, God never asked him to take census. Because, that's why they say some trust in chariots, some trust in horses, but we will trust in the Lord. So a king is never supposed to take a census, because he will begin to trust in his own numbers, and then don't trust in God. So, but this particular case is different. This census was asked by God to take on. So they are not supposed to.
Is this also for later on to give the land to each household when they have the land?
No, I don't think so. These census are very clearly, these number census very clearly, we read the scripture, very clearly for military purpose. Take the number to go to war. I read to you, the numbers 1 to 3. Numbers 1 verse 3, from 20-year-old and above, all who are able to go to war in Israel. You and Aaron shall number them by their armies. That's the verse, Numbers 1 verse 3. So it's a clear numbering for military. We got the answers, the Michelle presented answers from the Bible, not our own opinion.
Addition, footnote, Numbers 26, verse 51. In summary, the verse says, in summary, the registered troops of all the Israel numbered was 601,720. This is the second census. Then in verse 52, it says, then the Lord said to Moses, divide the land among the tribes and distribute the grants of land in proportion to the tribes' populations as indicated by the number of names on the list. So I think it's also in preparation to see how much land to be allocated to each tribe. The larger tribes will get more land compared to the smaller tribe. So I think it's also for that purpose.
Okay.
Verse 52.
Okay, this is Numbers 26. Okay, good point. Okay. Pinky spotted something else. So it means both for military and also for dividing the land. Okay.
But was that? Oh yeah, yeah.
Again.
Pan the Chinese say.
Huh?
Pastor, after the census, they found out that the tribe of Simeon lost their numbers, but the tribe of Manasseh gained the numbers. Why? What happened?
where was it? This one, numbers one?
As you read through, it says the tribe of Simeon now they lost about 37,000 and Manasseh gained about 20,000.
Oh.
Most other tribes are most the same. What happened to
Adelia? Wait, Adelia.
More fruitful.
Adelia, please specify the verse. Don't simply say something.
No,
Please,
I'm not.
No, please specify the verse so that we can refer. We are trying to learn something, okay? Where is the verse? Adelia?
Okay,
Hello?
never mind. Forget it. I'll find myself.
Okay. Anyway, it's probably somewhere there, but yeah, we got no answer now lah. Okay, anyway, we can answer it in the 365 lah. I also don't know the answer. I don't know where it is. Anyway, it's a good question. Good observation anyway. Yeah. Okay, I think we leave this question now. Let's move to the second question. Patient, you answer the second question.
Is, yeah. Second question is by my group. Okay, so Pastor, can I have the? Can I share?
You want to share screen?
Yes.
Okay. So I make you,
Yeah.
Patient, where is okay. Okay, can.
Okay. Can see my screen? Okay, the second question, these are the verses given to us. These numbers 8, 24 to 26, numbers 1 to 3, First Chronicles 23 to 27, and then we also added one that is numbers 4, 3, and 30. So okay, we make a summary out of this. So okay, out of these few verses, first one is from here we can see pertaining to the Levites, those who enter service, that means to perform the service is at the age of 25 and above. And then the age of 50, they will cease, but then they may minister with their brethren, but they shall not do the work themselves. Then the next one is, then we see the census that is being taken for all Israel is from the years 20 years and above. Then for the third one is, okay, the 4:3 and 4:30, that is for the Levites that enter service is from 30 years old and above. For both verses. Then the last one is Levites were numbered from, that means the census is being taken for 20 years old and above. So out of this, the summary is the census for all Israel is from 20 years old and above, and then census for all Levites is 20 years old and above. That means 20 years old and above, they will be the productive year. Whereas for the Levites perform service, okay, from the scriptures given by pastor is from 25 years and above, and then cease service from 50 years old and above, but they may continue to minister together with the brethren, but they shall not perform the task. But because we also got the 4:30 and 4:3, that mentioned 30 years old and above. So we are undeciding on this one. So maybe Pastor, you can clarify. So I would say for the Levites to come into service, well, the counted age is 20 years old and above, but they can only really perform the work at the age of 25. So maybe there is some years of training from 20 years old to 25 or 20 to 30. So depending on which is the years that they specified to perform the service, because we are undeciding on whether it's 25 or 30. From the two scriptures, we cannot find an answer. They seem to be contradicting.
I think because
Then,
it was changed, Beijing could be changed because of David changed it, I think. Later.
No, both also from Numbers. You know, 30 years old and above is Numbers 4:3 and 4:30. Whereas the 25 years old and above is from Numbers 8, 25 to 26. This scripture that you gave, 24 to 26.
Okay.
Yeah, so but we don't have answer right now, but we are finding this contradicting answer, but it's a good thing to start survey lah. I mean, to find an answer for this question. Then I think your second question is what is the age of military service? So because they take the number from 20 years old and above, but for the Levites, right, maybe it's a more important job, so they cannot afford to just, send people into the service immediately. I'm not very sure whether militarily also true or not. So they could be numbered for 20 years old and above, but they may not be in service until they are capable. And also some of the lesson that our group says this is to ensure the people are properly trained before they perform the service, and also there will be a smooth transition, especially for the older one to guide the younger one. So they may still minister together, but they shall not perform the service. So these are some of the lesson that we learned. Any question?
Okay, I think
Hello?
yeah, I think good answers. Yeah, so that means even for military or even for serving in the tabernacle, they got guidelines on the age. So that's why I think we also in the secular also got retirement age, 55, 60. After certain number age cannot work already.
Australia's retirement age for male is 70 now.
Yeah, because
Wow,
now because as people grow more medical care, we can live longer now, right?
It's terrible. Female is 65.
But military cannot lah. I mean army, you have to retire, right? For active soldier, you cannot go to war.
Now
Very
you use
old
a
army.
weapon of using technology.
Huh?
Don't really,
yeah, technology
you don't need to
and
fight
button.
physically.
Just press button.
Yeah,
only.
just use a button.
No, cannot. Even you use button, but the people like even fly the drone, you have to be very sharp one, Even you fly a drone also, you have to be young, Age, once age catches up, you're gone. The only thing I think that don't really require age is actually the human brain. That one you can teach. When you actually teachers, I think can teach up to very old because the brain is still sharp. After you catch Alzheimer, then different story. That's why professors all can become very old. Because their brain is sharp. But the human body is gone. So there's a spiritual lesson also. I think you want to serve God, make sure you serve God when you're young. Once old, no more energy already. How to go on mission, when you're old. Teaching only
like
can lah.
like your
You can
like your
be
message this morning, it says what? Actually, this is my view. If we can still catch up with the latest development, then no harm. We can serve until very old. If already stop progressing, better retire.
Yeah.
Cannot teach anything to the new people already.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Actually, but the older people, I think, got the importance to impart to the newer generation now. You know, because when you look at our SCD today, how many young people here? Don't talk about young adults. Also, so many missing. You know, it's almost all adults. You know, so actually, the hunger for the word is actually not very much in the younger generation.
It's a common issue even in
Yeah,
Australia.
common everywhere in the
Yeah.
world is the same. Like everywhere is the
Yeah,
same.
it's too contemporary, and the church, the young adults, youth, a lot of times they talk about social, make it fun.
Yeah,
The word is
correct.
very light, very light.
Correct. Yeah, it's like that lah. The world's like that lah. Yeah, and then the younger people are the attention span is very much shorter. That's why they are imaging very different from us. But they are flash here, flash there. Okay, I think we have to move on to the next question now. Okay, let's go to the third question. Who's third question? Who will answer? Who is answering third question?
Third question is in the group of Lily and myself.
Yeah, can answer any of you? Yeah.
Okay. First of all, this Moses sent with a mission, ask them to go and survey the land, see whether the land is good or not, people are strong or weak, how is it, just survey and come back and report. By the way, can pick up some fruits and plants if they can take it back. Okay. So yes, God approved it because it is from God. God asked Moses to do this.
Okay. What
Then,
lessons?
Lesson, Lily, you want to share?
Okay. All right. You can learn from this, right? I mean, to this out of 12 12 spies, 10 of 12 they came back with negative report, and we have 2 came back with a positive report, and we can see the attitude. Actually, these 12 tribes, we will consider them as leaders. I mean, that Moses sent them out like missions, all right, to investigate the land, whether the land is good or not good. Okay, so the 10 spies came back with a report that the land is good. All right, with a very good fruits. The grape is big, but it's just that they are fearful of the giants. All right, and they also have those strong, fortified walls. So they say they are not able to fight with them. Israelites were just like a grasshoppers. But Joshua and Caleb, right, they give a very good report that they say they can take over this land. So we can see these 2 group of leaders' attitude, right? Even though they receive the same promise from God, that God say we can take over the land is belong to us. But you can see them with the negative minded leaders will not be able to possess the land, but with a positive attitude like Joshua and Caleb, because they are looking at God's promise, not like the other 10, they're looking at the situations. So my summary is we need to we need to take God promise, even how is the situations, God will help us to conquer the problems that we have and the situation we have. All right. Okay, that's my sharing for these lessons that I learned from here.
Okay, okay.
I think okay, so basically it's the same external experience but two different internal conclusion. So what they see is about what they see, and then whatever they report, they never mention about God, but the answer the position of God in their heart already in their report so they already in the wilderness for so many years. God provided for them. They experience daily life with God, yet they cannot see God anywhere, and they are very fearful. Yet another one, they although it's people are big, but then they know they can get God to help them. So I think this is something like how where is God in their heart, in their mind. So that one it will definitely influence the rest, and the decision will affect many others.
Okay, I think okay. Thanks for the answers. I think they're good answers. Okay, so I think very clearly, he went out to send out there to spy to just check. Then it was God who sent them to check the land. And I think the lesson that we can learn, very important, is actually even when God calls to do something, leg work is actually very important one. Like for example, I mean, like we want to help people with social work. So even today, I mean, like Pakistan friends, they got a lot of needs. We still got to do the legwork to find out whether the needs are genuine. The family whether they are hungry or whatever. So legwork, you cannot get away with legwork lah. So there's sometimes the 12 spies they're supposed to do a job. Go down there, check out, come up with strategy and everything lah. So even when we go mission also, you have to go physically there to check, and so on. So you cannot get, if not, I think we can do things, we can be cheated by people, and so sometimes people tell stories, and then we also believe. So I think there's a way sometimes God work also lah. You think God will do everything for us lah? Answer is actually really is no lah. God seldom do everything for us lah. God asks us to do. God give us a plan, idea, and then God asks us to do, and God wants to go to spy. Okay. Unfortunately, these people go out to spy, and then they come back with a very negative report. That's what happened to them. Okay, we have to move on. Question 4. A quick one, question 4, question 5, and then we have to close because we are a little bit exceeded time already. Next, who is answering question 4?
Okay, it's me.
Okay.
Who was Moses' wife? Based on Exodus 2:16-22 and Exodus 4:20-26, we concluded it was Zipporah, a Midianite. Then in Numbers 12:1, it mentioned that Moses married a Cushite. And a footnote to the Cushite is Midianite, Ethiopian, Sudanese. So it could be 2 wives or it could be 1 wife. But based on what is given, we can only say we are not sure. Because when you say marry, means it's a legal thing. The Cushite woman, we could conclude, say, was maybe a concubine or a mistress or whatever, because it was a matter of importance, so much so that even Aaron and Miriam had to argue and quarrel with Moses. But otherwise, there was only one name, and that was Zipporah, a Midianite. So we are not sure, because some Google, it says 2 wives, but there's other commenters not sure.
Okay.
So this relates also answers question 2 lah. Did he have more than 1 wife?
Very important now. Moses is not like Solomon lah. Okay, I got 3,000 wives. Yeah. Okay, actually it's inconclusive. This numbers 12 one could be just more, could be just Miriam and Aaron, because of it they were judged. They were talking,
Yeah.
things, and so because of it, so this is inconclusive. So I think in all probability, actually Moses has probably one wife, Zipporah.
Mm.
Very interesting. He was a non-Jew.
Mm.
And then it's a picture also of maybe God reaching out to the Gentiles. So there's another possibility.
And how she also saved Moses' life because God wanted to kill him because he didn't circumcise his sons, whereas
Oh,
Zipporah did it.
yeah, what happened there? God wanted to kill Moses, right? Why? Because he didn't circumcise the son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you could see that Zipporah was godly. She was following Moses' God because she knew of the circumcision.
Okay. Okay. So let's go to the final question. Why was Israel cursed of 40 years of wandering in the wilderness? Numbers 13 and Numbers 14. Who will answer this one? The last group?
Okay, that is me.
Who is that?
Hello, can you hear me?
Can hear.
Okay, I can hear.
Yeah, Victor.
Yeah, Victor here.
Okay.
Okay, so number 5 I think is quite straightforward. It's related to question 3 also because of the 12 spies that went into the promised land to scout. So 10 of them came back with negative news and 2 of them came back with positive news. Their outlook of the scout lah, the recon. So basically the Israelites they grumbled and complained, and they chose to believe the 10 of them lah, the 10 of the scouts that were negative. So God was very angry with that, even though God gave them all the signs and the wonders, brought them out of Egypt, parted the Red Sea, gave them manna, and pillars of fire and clouds. But they still didn't believe that God could bring them to the promised land. So that is why God punished them for 40 years, because I think they took 40 days to scout the land. So God said for every day God will give them a year. So that's why God punished them for 40 years, and then they wandered in the wilderness. So the lesson we can learn here is always trust God and don't grumble.
Complaining is contagious.
Oh yeah, yeah, very true.
All those grumble never went into promised land,
Yeah.
including Aaron, Miriam, until Moses also didn't go in. He go strike the rock. Okay. Yeah. So whole generation, okay, except for Joshua, Caleb, they went in. Okay, so that concludes our study. Anyone got any last things you want to share before we close?
Pei Chen here. Actually, another thing is for the 40 years, right? Other than the one day for a year, is also, can I say that 40 years is the years for one generation?
It's for, maybe yeah. Maybe it's one of the lessons, one generation die okay. But I think that one year for the one day one, that one is from the Bible yeah.
Yeah.
Clearly from the Bible yeah. Okay, good observation anyone else?
I think the next thing is what Adelia brought up just now. So I think maybe I can share a little bit of what I found just now, a little bit of Google.
Can speak louder a bit a bit soft.
I said what Adelia mentioned just now. So some tribes are actually increasing, some tribes reducing. So okay, this one, okay, I'm sharing a page, okay. Why did God order a census in the book of Numbers? So actually this, I think this guy actually did a summary. Just now I saw a summary of the, I will share it later, because they compare the number of people for the first census and the second census, and the tribe of Manasseh actually almost doubled, something like 64% increase, whereas Simeon is something like 60% reduced in their numbers. So there's someone who makes such a comparison. Yeah.
So the question is why got answer not?
Did she ask why? What was your answer? No, what was your question, Adelia?
Yeah,
Why?
my question is that what happened to them? What did they do? And then why they decrease so much? But then I got researches now. I got the answers. Maybe some of them got what I call that got absorbed by the Judah tribe, and then some of them moved to the north. So that's why the numbers are like that. Maybe they are the rebellious one. I don't know whether Korah is in the group in the Simeon tribe or not. Is it Korah there? So maybe they got killed somewhere. Because it's there's so much difference, when you see number 123, you see their tribe is 59,300, and the second census, they are left with 22,200 only. So the difference is a lot, That's why I was wondering what happened. And then I didn't see Manasseh because I know if, what am I trying to say is that it got to do with blessing. That's what who is that? Setlan answered, got to do with blessing. So what did they do? I didn't read. I didn't get what did they do that make the tribe become so much less, because they haven't fought yet. They haven't entered Canaan there, so they didn't fight yet. So I don't know what happened to them. Yeah. That's why I'm asking lah, in case somebody might just come across what happened.
Okay. Actually, it's a good. Actually, when you observe this kind of thing, it's good, no? Because when you read a little bit more, you got answers on. It's somewhere there, yeah. Sometimes got alternate answers. Okay, that's how we learn now from the Bible. When you read sometimes something interesting, you suddenly see something that you have never seen before. Then you try to find the answer. There are answers, they're not difficult to find. Yeah. Okay. Any last things say before we close? Okay, if not, yeah, we are a little bit past the time. So maybe we'll just close in prayer. I'll get Bessie to pray and close us in prayer.
Okay, let's pray. Lord, thank you that we are also able to spend this afternoon learning from your word and also from one another. Lord, there are many lessons to be learned, even in the Old Testament, to be applied to today. And we pray that for the many lessons, Lord, we learn, we will also apply to our lives, and that we will learn to walk righteously. And because you are a holy God and you do not, you are not one who would stand sin and disobedience. So we pray and commit, Lord, that every one of us who are serious, even in our Christian walk, Lord, will learn to obey and also put our trust in you for the many things that are ahead of us. We do not know how is our future like, but we know because we have faith in you, and that is most important. And we have hope in you as well. We thank you for this time that we can even learn together. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Okay, thanks everyone for joining. Okay, maybe we can open video and then say goodbye to everybody lah. Okay.
Bye.
Bye everyone. Hope you all learn something fresh. Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Okay. Bye bye.
Thanks.
Bye bye. Bye.
Bye bye.